Let's now move on to main topic number 3. And our third and final main topic today gets submitted to us by Greg Brunelli. And Greg Brunelli writes in, "Greetings and salutations. HBO just released their numbers for HBO Max, and they aren't that impressive." Well, that's to say the least, my friend. AT&T is saying they're further along than they thought, but none of the analysts believe that. Apparently, HBO and HBO Max subscriptions are only up 5% from the end of 2019. Considering Disney Plus added 50 million since the end of 2019, isn't that kind of a small number? HBO doesn't have a bad reputation, so why do you think they are so slow out of the gate? Thanks for the daily dose of awesome. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, there's a little bit of a problem going on with HBO right now. Here's the basic gist of it. So this is coming to us from Variety. HBO, since the beginning of the year, when you combine HBO and HBO Max, their subscribers have only gone up 5%. They've gone from 34.6 million at December 31st number of subscribers, only up to 36 million. These are the numbers here. So at the end of December, they were at 34.6 million. Today, after the launch, we're well into the launch now of HBO Max, they're only at 36.3 million. They're only up 5%. Now, this led Variety to then make the following observation. Variety wrote this: "The numbers revealed Thursday underscore that building HBO Max into the content hub that AT&T envisions will be a slow process, despite the foundation of HBO subscribers. The uptake for HBO Max pales in comparison to the fast start for the Disney Plus streaming platform that grabbed more than 50 million subscribers from scratch in 5 months following its debut on November 12th, 2019. Disney Plus has a big price advantage, of course, over HBO Max at $7 a month compared to HBO Max's $15 price tag." That comes to us again from Variety. Now, I don't think that shouldn't be a surprise. Look, HBO Max, their main thing that they hang their head on, and what HBO mainly hangs its head on, is not curated content, it's their original content. HBO, HBO Max, HBO Go, HBO Now, whatever you want to call it, is loaded with original, exclusive HBO content. That is their game. Disney Plus, not so much. It's a lot of curated old content. The only really big, high-profile original thing they've come out with since they launched is Mandalorian. They've got other smaller shows and this, but really none of that is the marquee stuff. None of that is the stuff that we've signed up to Disney Plus for. They've got good archives, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff, and that's all good. That's all great. But that's where we find ourselves at right now. So here we have Disney Plus that's able to come out of the gate, go from 0 to 50 million like that. HBO, with its great reputation, its excellent content. I mean, excellent content. They come out of the gate and they've added 5%, 1 point something million new subscribers to take them up to 36. The question becomes why? Like, HBO, it has a wonderful reputation. They put out great content. They've got a huge library. Why would they be struggling right now in gaining new viewers, new subscribers, like a new audience? Why are they subscribing? Or why are they struggling with getting new subscribers? I think the price difference is one factor, but honestly, I don't think it's that big of a factor. I think it is a factor. I don't think it's that big of a factor. Because I'll tell you right now, HBO is far better than Disney Plus right now. Right now, at this moment, HBO is way better than Disney Plus, in my opinion. But I think there are a few other reasons we need to look at about why HBO is struggling. I want to break it down into 3 different reasons. And they're all matters of confusion, all right? Why the slow start for HBO? Well, number one, and we joked about it before, but I think it's a real issue for a number of people. Brand confusion. You've got HBO, you got HBO Go, you got HBO Now, and now we got HBO Max. And we talked about this when it was first announced. It does create a level of brand confusion. I know I myself have spoken to people that said, I don't understand what, like, say, wait a minute. So wait, I have HBO on my TV. Is that the same as HBO Max? Do I need to get Go to get Max? Do I need to get Now to get Go and then get Max? Does Max get me Now and Go? Like, it just created brand confusion. They did a terrible job of labeling these different services. Now, I get it. HBO is a recognizable brand, so you want to have that name in there so people know what they're getting, but they needed to come up with a better way of creating brand clarity as opposed to brand confusion, and I do believe that has played into the slow uptick for HBO Max at this point. So that's reason number one for me, is brand confusion. Reason number two, content confusion. We talked about this just shortly, just weeks after HBO Max launched. It was all over the news that a bunch of their high-profile movies left the service. A bunch of these high-profile movies that they used in their marketing, come to HBO Max and get all these great movies, and then a bunch of those movies they advertised, boom, we're gone. And so it created a scenario where a lot of people in the audience were like, well, wait a minute, so time out, wait a minute. So what am I getting? If I get HBO and HBO Max, what exactly am I getting? Because just shortly after their launch, all the stuff about this is leaving HBO Max, this is leaving HBO Max. It's like, wait a minute, didn't HBO Max just launch? And for a number of people, I think it created content confusion. They weren't sure what it is they're getting. And I think that plays a little bit into reason number one, too, with brand confusion. Because going along with brand confusion into content confusion is like, hey, so wait a minute. So if I get HBO Max, what is it I'm getting? Am I getting the stuff that was on HBO? Am I getting the stuff that was on HBO Now? Is it a different thing altogether? Like, it just created confusion. So number one, brand confusion. Number two, content confusion. And number three, which is something I've talked a bit about on this show, which is platform confusion. So they come out and say, hey, everybody, HBO Max is here. You run along now and go pick up your HBO Max. Yay, we all said. Except the 70% of us who get most of our streaming content via either Amazon Fire Stick or Roku then went, okay, great, fire up our Roku, fire up our Amazon Fire Stick, let's install HBO Max. It's got to be here somewhere. The HBO Max, well, let's do a search. HBO Max. Well, there's HBO Now, there's HBO Go. Where's HBO Max? HBO Max launched without being on by far the two biggest streaming platforms in the world, Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. Oh, you can get it on your PlayStation. Yay. I've got a PlayStation, I do, but I don't want to have to switch my inputs on my TV just depending on which streaming service I want to watch. Yes, you can add HBO Max as a third-party add-on to an existing app you may have, like a Hulu or something like that, but I don't want to have to sub-bury in my subscription services. I want my subscription services right there. So they come out of the gate. People don't understand what HBO Max is. They create confusion with their content, with everything they're leading, so people don't know what content am I getting with HBO Max. And then they created a platform confusion where a whole bunch of people went, okay, even though I'm not quite sure what HBO Max is, and I'm not quite sure what content is going to be there, I'll try it. Oh, wait a minute, it's not there. I have a Roku, like most people, or a Fire Stick, like most people do, and it's not there. So personally, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative because I think HBO is fantastic. And I think HBO Max will ultimately be very successful. But to be honest with you guys, I'm sitting here and I'm hearing, oh, HBO Max is kind of slow getting out of the gate. They've only added like 1 million subscribers. They've only grown 5%. Isn't that shocking? No, it's not all that shocking. Brand confusion, content confusion, platform confusion, and then you add on top of that the fact that it's at a higher price point. I think it's worth the higher price point because of the content you get, mind you. But I don't know that anybody should be surprised. Now, ultimately, I do think HBO Max will turn this around. They just make their content is just too good. Their content is just too good. I believe they will turn this around. But I also make no apologies for stating the facts. And the fact is, they botched their launch. HBO Max completely botched their launch. Now, it may be unfair to compare them to Disney Plus, but I think it's relevant here. When Disney Plus launched, there was no brand confusion. They made amply clear what you were getting on Disney Plus. They put so much money into marketing and creating brand awareness about what Disney Plus was, so that by the time it came out, everybody understood what they were getting with Disney Plus. So there was no brand confusion. Nobody confused it with the Disney Channel. How's this? Nobody confused it for the Disney Channel. You know what I mean? People were very clear on the content they were getting. They were big on it. Look at these sections we have. Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Nat Geo. Look at this lineup, guys. They were very clear about that. And there was no platform confusion. We're on everything. We may not be available yet in every market around the world because there are licensing things we have to work out. But if you're in a market where this stuff's coming out, you can get it on everything. You got a PlayStation? You can get it on PlayStation. You want to watch it on a web browser? You can get it on a web browser. You got an Amazon Fire Stick? You can watch us on Amazon Fire Stick. Got Chromecast? You can watch us on Chromecast. You got a Roku? You can watch us on Roku. Disney Plus came out of the gate with none of those problems. Again, let me just bring this up one more time. Just again, HBO, brand confusion. Disney Plus had no brand confusion. Content confusion for HBO Max. Absolutely no content confusion for Disney Plus. Platform confusion for HBO. Absolutely no content confusion for that. So again, my ultimate kind of bottom line here is this. I believe HBO Max will be fine. And I look forward to the day, as a Roku user, then I can go onto my Roku and download it and install it on my Roku, and I can watch it. I'm looking forward to that day. And I think it's going to be a great service for years to come. But there is no way around it. They completely botched their launch. They completely botched it. And it's unfortunate. They'll be fine. They'll be totally fine, and I'm still excited about it. But there's no getting around that they completely botched this thing. Anyway, guys, question is, what do you think about the slow start for HBO Max? Maybe you think it's not a big deal. Maybe you think it's a more serious deal than I do. Maybe you think this is going to affect their long-term prospects. I personally don't. What are your thoughts on this? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.